A group of 4 Asian scientists from the chemistry department at Columbia University in New York conducted a very important study on January 8, 2024. Finally, they developed a powerful optical imaging technique for rapid analysis of nanoplastics. This technique had unprecedented sensitivity and specificity. The microplastics and nanoplastics originated from the prevalent use of plastics generate increasingly alarming, devastating concerns all over the world. Before this study, we knew that nanoplastics existed, but measuring them to know their present amount in water bottles was almost impossible due to their extremely small size. As a demonstration, these scientists analyzed the presence of nanoplastics in bottled water. They used a multidimensional profiling of individual plastic particles. Surprisingly, they found more than 100,000 plastic particles in each liter of bottled water. An alarming amount of 90,000 particles were of nanoplastic, and 10,000 of these particles resulted to be microplastic particles. Plastics are ubiquitous in our daily lives, and the confirmed existence of tens of thousands of nanoplastics in bottled water has launched an unprecedented alert to the scientific community. In particular, it is believed that nanoplastics are more toxic than microplastics because their extremely small size makes them easily enter human body cells. And upon entering our cells, they can easily interfere with the function of the organelles present in them, slowly damaging them. On August 1, 2018, a different group of Chinese scientists published a study in which it was evidenced that chronic exposure to polystyrene plastics is associated the dysbiosis of the intestinal microbiota and damage to the metabolism of lipids in the liver. The gut microbiota is crucial for the digestion and metabolism of foods that are not fully processed by the stomach and small intestine. Moreover, it produces vital vitamins such as vitamin K and some B-complex vitamins. One of its most important functions is protection against pathogens, acting as a defensive barrier that prevents the growth of harmful microorganisms. This balance is also fundamental for the development and functioning of the immune system. In addition, there is a significant connection between the gut microbiota and the nervous system, known as the gut-brain axis, which may influence mood and mental health. Now imagine a giant avalanche of microplastic and nanoplastic particles. We have consumed all our lives, slowly ending this very important ecosystem of our body. When the gut microbiota is damaged or becomes unbalanced, digestive disorders such as irritable bowel syndrome emerge and other inflammatory bowel diseases. An imbalance can increase the risk of infections as the protective barrier function is lost. Immune problems such as allergies, asthma, and autoimmune diseases can also be a consequence of this imbalance. Likewise, it has been observed that changes in the microbiota affect mental health, generating disorders such as depression and anxiety. From a metabolic point of view, an imbalance in the microbiota can contribute to conditions such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. Lastly, the excessive use of antibiotics can damage the microbiota, leading to the development of strains resistant to these drugs. In summary, maintaining a healthy gut microbiota is key to overall health. The microbiota impacts everything from the digestive system to the immune and nervous systems. On November 2, 2011, a study was published demonstrating the effect of phthalates, a type of microplastic that increases the growth of tumor cells in breast cancer. They discovered that exposure to phthalates increased membrane translocation in these tumor cells, in addition to enhancing their nuclear function, causing their proliferation to increase. Alarmingly, this image clearly shows how exposure to phthalates promotes tumor growth in mice. On April 24, 2017, another group of scientists decided to evaluate the concentration of microplastics in the organs of mice after 28 days of exposure. The following were the results found in just 28 days. Now calculate. How much plastic do your organs have after consuming bottled water, Coca-Cola, and artificial juices in plastic bottles all your life? It was discovered that exposure to microplastics in mice damages metabolism, especially its ability to produce energy. The liver of these mice had a very low concentration of ATP, the energy molecule, and an increase in LDH. The liver of these mice became smaller, and these mice felt more hungry, ate more, suggesting a possible energy deficiency. Neurotoxicity was also evidenced in these mice. In particular, an excessive imbalance in the concentration of neurotransmitters in their brains. This image shows the concentration of microplastics in the different tissues of the studied mice. In this case, it's the green dots that we clearly see in the liver, kidney, and intestine of these little mice. To avoid making this section on toxicity too long, about nanoplastics and microplastics, I want to conclude speaking about their effect on women's fertility and its behavioral effects in children. There is growing evidence that bisphenol A, BPA, a plastic that is clearly an endocrine disruptor, could have adverse effects on humans. Recent epidemiological studies suggest a relationship between BPA exposure and various health problems in perinatal, infant, and adult stages, including reproductive and developmental disorders, metabolic diseases, and other health effects. And if microplastic and nanoplastic are so toxic, what can we do to reduce their consumption? An estimated 8.8 million tons of plastic waste enter the ocean each year. Approximately 276,000 tons of this plastic float in the sea. The rest sinks or reaches the coasts. This plastic breaks down into trillions of microplastic and nanoplastic particles, and these particles are ingested by marine species that end up on our plates. The world is so full of plastic, it has been found in 15 brands of sea salt, up to 273 particles of microplastic per pound of salt, up to 300 fibers of microplastic per pound of honey, and up to 109 fragments per liter of beer. Being honest, we can't do anything to completely get rid of the plastic in our body, but we can certainly reduce its presence. Fortunately, this is not a list of 10 things you can do to reduce plastic consumption and reduce drastically its presence in your body. In reality, the most striking and effective action you can even apply today is only one. Stop consuming liquids in plastic bottles. It's as simple as that. Never again accept plastic bottles when they're offered at a restaurant. You can simply request glass ones. Even these can contain traces of plastic that fall into the water through their caps. because these usually have plastic inside. And if that's the second best option, what's the best one? The best option is definitely to drink filtered water directly from a glass cup. Once we reach 1,000 comments, I'll make a video about filtered water, and I'll show you how to choose the best water filter for your home. I kindly ask you to share this video with your acquaintances. And if you have children, I want to invite you to my new YouTube channel for kids. It's called Tuvi Kids. You can look it up in the YouTube search engine. It's a channel designed to educate children with fables, stories and morals that make them good people. Simply type Tuvi Kids into the YouTube search bar and subscribe. We want to change the world for the better. In Tuvi, I have a large number of educational videos like this one you just watched, and next you're going to see 2 that are of your interest. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end, and I send you a hug.